Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report, and starting with CBA here before we move on to the ASX 200, because this market will be the driver for the ASX if it's going to move higher. So in this instance here, as we've gone over this before, and I'm going over it now, and I'm going to be going over it again as well, because I think it's a really good opportunity for longer term holders to start buying banks again, and we can just edge in there slowly, and we'll keep a bit of an eye on it. So, but in the bigger picture here, we've got wave 3 here of cycle degree and cycle degree 4, primary degree 1, primary degree 2, 3, and an A and a B and a C here for wave 4, and then we're moving up for wave 1 and wave 2 coming back here, and 3 and 4 and 5 to finish this off here. The extension was in wave 3 here, so that means that wave 1 and wave 5 can have a bit of equality to it. Or we can also look at different ways of getting targets, but the 100 here is a target. But one of the things here that we can point out in terms of time here is that this here, I think is about 15 or 16 months here. So that's how long we've pretty much got here as a guide stick, as a rule of thumb. So 15 or 16 months for a trend here in the banking sector. And I just think that we should take it step by step as well, because we know wave 4s can get a bit complicated, and this has been complicated, and it's big enough in terms of proportion and ratio to wave 2 here, as wave 2 being a simple ABC, and this is also an ABC, but quite a bit more complicated. It could get more complicated still and turn into a bit of a triangle pattern across here, but I don't think it's the case, because we've already spent so much time in this particular structure here, and we're seeing a quick move to the upside. The other thing that I pointed out last time we spoke is that what I was waiting for in the first instance was to see if we actually get 5 waves up in this little move up here, and last time we spoke that had been confirmed. So at least we know that we're going to be getting higher ground from that. So this little move up here, basically there's a little wave 1 and 2 in here, then a third wave in here, and a fourth wave here. So we're looking at a 5th wave in this space here. So a little bit more to go on this. We can have a bit of a look at that in a moment. But the main important bit here, or 2 important bits, is that yes, we do have a 5-wave structure here now. Yes, it's not finished, but we do have 5 waves here. So after 5 waves, we're going to get some type of correction here. It may not pull back to the 50-60% retracement level, which will be down here further, but we've got that now. So that's confirming that we have 5 waves, and after a correction we're going to get another 5 waves. So I think that's the news there. Just on the tick chart here that we've been following this on here, I'll just move into that a little bit here. I thought I had it here. Must have had it on something else. Might have been 20 ticks, I think. Sorry about that. I can update that later, but nope. Yep, this will do. I don't know what I had it on, but I'll just go to a clean skin here. I'll just go to, say, 5 minutes or something. Still not doing it. I'll just stay with the hourly. Sorry about that. Oh, it was the hour chart. Sorry. So from the low here, we got wave 1 and wave 2 here, and wave 3 here, and wave 4 here. I did have wave 4 over here, and it may be correct, but I think it's here. So wave 1 here, an A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here for 2, and then we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and wave 5 up here. Well, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to move a little bit higher here first. and then a wave 4, and then a wave 5 coming in here, something like this, I'd imagine. And I'll need to relabel that a different type of wave 1 here. But the thing here is that once this structure here is finished, then we can look at, I'll just use these here, an ABC pattern here for wave 2 here. I'll just move these out of the way. So yeah, we want, we can chase that up if you want, but it's really the, the trend and then the correction that we're looking for. It might get me wrong, and it might just continue to push up to 80 first, and take it from there. So we're long in a couple of banks at the moment, so we could go long again because there'll be a couple more sessions to go in this. If wave 4 is here, then this can be counted as 5 waves in here, as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and finished in here and correct from that point. So it's a little bit tricky to figure out, but we're reasonably close. But there should be some more upside to come. So with the ASX 200, we're looking at wave 3 here, ABC for wave 4 here, and then wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, as you know, we've been looking at, and then we've been looking for 5 waves in this structure here. So in a nutshell, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, or 4 over to here, and looking for wave 5 up here. The important bit here, though, you see, this will be a bit like CBA, basically correcting as well here in its structure. So there's a couple of important points here. This level here, 6,500, is a medium level, and this will be a bit of quite a strong resistance here. The other point here is the 6,300 here. It's a minor level in this case, and it would be the top of group 1. So group 1 of 6,000, so 1, 2 and 3. And we know that if we get support there, and support can take a little while, so we have the arrival, and then it could go a little bit higher. Basically, we'll get something like this here. So there'll be the high that comes in, and then but if we get support on here for whatever reasons, we'll have to trade up here higher at that point. But we'll talk about that when we go in here, which we can do now. So this is wave 4 here, and we've been looking at this in a couple of different ways here, but basically 1 and 2 here, but 1 and 2 could possibly be here, but still leaves us with 3 and 4 here, whichever way we look at it. And then we're looking for wave 5 up here to get in at to arrive at 6,300 to complete there. But like CBA, there's still another little move to go in here to finish all of that. So we really need to see support on this level before we can call it up to 6,500 if it was going to run up there, and we have to be prepared for that. We have to be prepared for everything, but there will be some sort of clear passageway here. So there'll be something like this, and then the corrective move here. After I've had the corrective move, if support is found here, then we'll go long here. But otherwise, we will look for a move back lower at that stage. Okay, so we'll look. This is the Elliott count. However, we'll look for a setup within all of that. This is just a 2-hour chart. That's not going to be that helpful. The 1-hour chart. Okay, so we've got wave 4 down here on the 1-hour chart, and we're looking at basically 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, the fourth wave, and then I think the fifth wave here is 1 and 2 and 3 here. So we're looking for 4 here, and then we'll look for 5 to come up to here. So that will give us the first high above the level, and then we can look for a corrective move here. So if I'm wrong in any way, we're looking for it to come down, but if it develops support on here afterwards we'll get our trade set up here, and then we'll go long again from there. So we're not going to miss anything, but this is an important level, the top of group 1, top of number 3. It's really important. But if we don't get the setup, then we'll be looking to move further down at that stage. And we can probably look at in here, I'll put that's there at 80 roughly, and then 72 in here roughly, and 65 in here. So if that group 2 becomes the resistance here, then we'll look to go short at that point. Okay, just configure that while we're here. The other point too that I can make here too is that above here, if we go straight to the 30, that's 30 there. If I've made a mistake in here as well, because the first swings that come into the market here, that's group 1, 2, and 3 there. So the first swings that come into the market will be within group 1 at the top here, 10, 20, and 30, and then this one here. So we need to really just allow it to do its thing in this space here. If this space down below this group 2 here becomes the resistance, then we need to be looking for short trades, and the trend would have started. If we get a nice tested support on top of this 30 here, then we need to look to go long again at that point. So we would, if I've made a mistake in here, if we get tested support on top of 30 here, it's okay to trade above it in the initial spike, but after that, we'll get a pattern like I'm talking about 300 here. We get that ABC here. If we get a ABC on top of the 30 here and it comes into the 20 and then finds support back on the 30, well, then we'll have to go long again from that point, okay? So we'll just see. That's the point that it will be wrong, and that's the point that we need to be long again. So that's what we're looking for. But as we stand at the moment, we'll look for wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And on the tick chart here, that will be the same, because last time we spoke, we were I think we're at the top of wave 3 here, weren't we? And we're looking for the rest of this to play out. But this is how it's played out. I wasn't that far wrong, and I remember saying here would stay long, we would only turn short if the number 2 here became the resistance here. So everything went according to plan, and the idea was to trade to 6,300 and get out. But in this case here, we've still got wave 1 and 2 here. Wave 3 can come a little bit higher, then wave 4, and then wave 5 to the upside. So there's more to play out here. So I'll put in the midpoint here, which is 50. I'll adjust that later. 30 in here, I could adjust that later. 20 and 10. So normally that first swing would be, up into the 30 area through here. So we'll just let that play out. So we've got Monday. We've got Monday as the bullish day, and then we'll see profit taking on Tuesday. Okay, so I'll just save that. And now we'll look at the Asian region, and starting with China here. So for China, we're still looking, we've got from wave 4 over here, from wave 4 here, we've got this 5-wave structure down here, and we've got wave 2 here. So it's quite a big wave 2, quite clear, And then all of this will be wave 3 here. And then as mentioned before, we're working through to wave 4. Not sure the best way to put all of this, but something like this. And we're looking for still a move to move up there. I'm just going to move these little stick trend lines. So yeah, still looking for a move higher up through here. We've taken 70% of our profit here. If you want to stay in the game, that's okay. If you want to, take profit here, that's okay as well. But we must point out that we are in a bear trend here, so we need to really stay with that. But that's your call. I'll just ride the trend out here as such. And also the Hong Kong market, the Hang Seng as well. We wanted to get a balance here, so we brought the stop down here last time we spoke, so this trade from here to here is completed now. We'll just allow this to play out here. If it moves back up into this space here and we can see a nice way that we can move into it on the short side, then we'll do that. The other side to this, of course, is that if the 28,000 number 8 here, if that becomes the retested resistance, well then we'll look for further down. We can trade short down here further. The distance down here will be roughly the same distance as wave 1 here in the first instance. That will be our guide stick because we've got the extension in wave 3. The Nikkei here is behaving as well. We were looking for from the top of wave B here, we're looking for 1 and 2 here, and down for wave 3 here, taking profit in this little area here. It's moving up into wave 4 here. We can also look for an entry on a breach of this trend line in here. You can refine that and use your own magic there to find your way in through there. But that trend line would not just needs to be pierced, but it needs the retested resistance in there as well. As I've probably explained many times before, if you've got a trend line like this, the market will come down, hit it, bounce back, go through it, come back and hit it, and then go down. That's common, right? So it just knowing that, it's just helpful, because if it breaks down through here and you go to sell here, then you know that you're going to get retested here. It takes a while. You've got to experience things. So that's all good. The Nifty is a little bit different, a little bit more like Australia, I guess, but I'm still a little bit unsure about this. This whole pattern here of calling this wave 1 here on top of this here, and looking for this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave there. So that's part of a bearish count, this one here, of calling this a wave B here. But this little move in here, as I pointed out before, I've counted as wave B because it's corrective. So I'm figuring that would make a new high above here, as I mentioned last time, and all that's going according to plan here. Well, not really a plan, but we were looking at this as wave 1 from the low, wave 2 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then last time we spoke we're down in this space somewhere, and looking for a move higher here. So this still needs to play out here. So I can't really confirm the overall count just yet for this, but as I mentioned, this move coming down through here is corrective. So we need to play that. It needs to play out here. We should make a new top above here, above this line here at some point. So unless we're just going to get a more complicated correction. All I can say here is that, once this plays out here, if it plays out here as a move up here somewhere, and then we get an A and a B and a C wave here, and then we get support here, well then we'll look to go long above these highs here, because that will be confirmed as an ABC correction, as corrective, if this top here gets taken out. So that would be our trigger at that point. So that's what we'll do there, and we'll go long on this number here. But otherwise, we just need to wait for this to fall into place. I just don't have any clear answers for this. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.